Boy, oh boy, guys, do we have a treat for you today. Miss Unapologetically Me True Crime has discovered, apparently, or I should say apparently, has discovered like jaw-dropping evidence here that NK and GS, which is, I do believe his name is Gino or something like that. But this is huge, and we're going to get into this video that she had created. I'm giving her full credit that she's the one that found this. She's the one that dug down. She's the one that had it. So I don't want those haters to come back and be like, Zowoki's taking it. I just talked to herself. So she and I are going to be hopefully doing a collab this Saturday. So she is one of the people that I've been asking to collab with. Rox is, also Patty Productions. So we're going to be doing collabs, but Ivy is next. So I have to do it with her. But we're going to be collabing this Saturday. We just need to narrow down a exact time, but this Saturday we are going to try to do that collab. So I'm definitely very excited, and I'm hoping you guys are too. But before we get started, make sure you guys are subscribed to my YouTube channel by hitting that wiper icon down the bottom right. Hit that bell icon and next to it, so when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that I've posted that video, and then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And then please show that same love over at Unapologetically Me True Crime. Go give her some love. She's very, very close to 15,000 subscribers, and I'd love to see her hit another milestone. But without further ado, let's get into her video. I'm like so psyched for this. I wanted to watch it when it first came out, but she and I have an agreement, so I have to wait a few days. So okay, this is really anticipation and you know.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is that you are tuning
for me.
in. This is Unapologetically Me, featuring me. No special guest, just me.
Yes, sir.
It's been a long time since you heard that, hasn't it? Yeah, I forgot it the last few videos. If you could possibly imagine that I would forget my tagline that I have had for 4 years now. Anyway, we're going to be jumping into a quicker video. This one goes along with part 4, episodes 1 and 2. It's just a little update on something that I found relating to Nichol Kessinger and Gino Watts. If you don't remember any of that, or you missed those videos, please.
I remember reacting to it a few months back, but my mind was blown when she brought this out.
Please go back and watch them. They are very important.
And here I'll find a little bit of piece here and a little bit of piece here, and I'll state it. But this woman like finds big pieces.
Important to this video, and I just have this gut feeling that they're going to be really important to this case. So for months, I've left you guys thinking about a possible connection between Nichol Kessinger and Gino Watts with no hard proof, no photos, no messages, just phone numbers and patterns that didn't sit right. And then a photo surfaced, and suddenly speculation.
You know what really scares me? Is Sage just said that there was going to be something electronically of evidence or information that's going to expose NK a little bit. Is this it? I don't know.
Game evidence. Now, I created a couple hours worth of content on an MMA fighter that I believed to be an important connection to Nichol Kessinger. I also explained how
apparently he's got money. Just saying.
How I had not much more than a gut feeling that Nikki and Gino knew each other. I couldn't, and I didn't, say they knew each other. I said there were patterns, indicators. Today, I'm showing you one.
And I think she has found the conclusion of these gut feelings that she had. She's confirming it.
Why those indicators mattered. This is why I will never delete anything I gather over the course of my investigations. Whether I have to get more hard drives, whatever I have to do, I will not delete anything.
I have 3 hard drives filled full of Chris Watts content.
This is also what took me so long to get back uploading again, was getting a computer that I could afford that had the terabytes of storage, and I had a MacBook Pro. It was fairly new already, so I needed something comparable to that. And that's why I waited. I did not want to lose any files, and I'm so glad I did that because I would have lost so many files. So like I said, this is why I never like to delete anything that I gather over the course of my investigations, because speculation, when done
Somebody give this woman a raise, okay? Her boyfriend, if you're watching this, give her a raise. Give her some schnookums, or what do you call it? Love.
responsibly, sometimes waits for evidence to catch up. And this isn't the only instance where you guys are going to see a video like this in the series, where the evidence has finally been found for some of the speculation.
Yes.
Oh yes, I promise there's more. But let's just talk about this one for now. So in my previous 2 videos on this topic, the indicators that I pointed out were the age of Nikki and Gino, the high school they went to, the graduation year, the street that they grew up on, for starters. There's more, and I'm gonna kind of recap that in this video. I don't want to go too much back into it. I don't want to be redundant. So again, I will put the link. I keep trying to remember to put the link to videos on that top right hand side of the screen, so you can just click on it and go there. I will try to remember.
You would have to look through my Chris Watts or my crime podcast, or not my crime podcast, my crime playlist. It's where I had reacted and gave my 2 cents on the whole Gino Shvedov and Nichol Kessinger. My mind was like,
to do that. We also talked about the social circles of both Nikki and Gino, the criminal history, the complete disregard for authority. But what really stood out to me were phone numbers on Nichol Kessinger's call logs.
She found that out.
A phone number that belonged to a close connection to Gino Shvedov. That number's registered to his mom, to be exact. Now, Footsteps of Murder traced one of the phone numbers used to a business called Hazelbrook Sober Living. And people have been going crazy ever since, calling it a rehab, and that Nichol Kessinger must have been in recovery, and all sorts of speculation about this Hazelbrook connection, right? Well, we here at UMTC found that Hazelbrook Sober Living is owned by Gino Shvedov. The business is not a drug rehabilitation center. It is not a treatment center. Hazelbrook Sober Living is a business that provides sober living homes for recovering addicts who are just getting out of jail or prison or drug treatment centers. So it is not a rehab, okay? If you don't know what a sober living home is,
It's like a transitional home from them coming out of prison to get back into the real life, to the real world, try to like a soften, not a shock and awe kind of thing. This place looks familiar. I don't know why I'm seeing this again, but this looks familiar.
Leave you to look that up on your own, or like I said, you can just watch part 4, episode 1 in particular for that. But they are, when run well, a great way to transition people back into society when they need help staying on the right path.
Is my dude watching the fish tank or?
After I made that connection, I took a look at where these phone numbers showed up. Now, yes, I did say they are registered to his mom, but to be fair, so is Hazelbrook Sober Living. And that's because Hazelbrook Sober Living was started while Gino was still in prison. It also has something to do with him being a felon. So while he admittedly owns and runs Hazelbrook Sober Living with his current wife, Jess, the business is in his mother's name, as are all phone numbers registered to it. Now, let's just get this out of the way up front. Am I grasping at straws here? I don't know. Possibly. Okay. So these phone
But we're here for it.
members and the connection to Hazelbrook sober
Look at, she talks to Gino. Worth, she talked to him in the morning.
living showed up a few times. There's also a Venmo transaction between Nikki and Hazelbrook Sober Living for a birthday cabin that was made on June 9th of 2018. And before someone comments that this is because Nikki was in rehab, no, it's not. Not in
Wonder if Chris went to that.
2018 at least. I can't say the girl was never in rehab, but she wasn't in rehab in 2018. Nikki had her shit together in that way, at least in
I bet you can't go and ask the Hazelbrook because it's confidentiality.
2018. She had her dream job, her own apartment, her new man that just unfortunately happened to be a married father of 2 with a baby on the way. So in that way, she definitely didn't have her shit together, but she was working. She was living on her own. She had a great job. She was making good money. Okay, so unfortunately, we don't have phone records before July 14, 2018, or after September 13th, 2018. But within the records we do have, it would appear that Gino and Nikki were in communication by phone 6 times. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but it doesn't have to be, okay? Not for what I'm looking into here. So the 6 dates of communication by phone were July 30th, August 4th, August 17th, August 22nd, August 26th, and August 28th, all of 2018. And it wasn't just the phone calls themselves
I think she made a typo up here.
that I red flagged. It was the placement within her call history that stuck out to me. For instance, on July 30th, 2018, Nikki made a 22-minute call to Gino at 4:59 p.m. This call was sandwiched between 4 calls to Chris Watts, 2 before and 2 after. It looks like this on the call log. July 30th, 2018, as you can see here,
Jim's in there too.
4:43 p.m., Nikki calls Chris and left a voicemail. 4:48 p.m., Chris called Nikki back. They speak for 8 minutes. 4:59 p.m., Nikki calls Gino. They speak for 22 minutes. Then immediately after hanging up with Gino, at 5:22 p.m., Nikki calls Chris, leaves a voicemail, and 2 minutes later at 5:24 p.m., Chris calls Nikki, and then they speak for 39 minutes. Now,
like she says, I mean, this could be something. This could be absolutely nothing. But it's definitely red flagged, to say the least. I'm telling you, there's something fishy going on here, and it's not just Nichol.
when we go to our trusty dusty timeline, we can see that on July 30th, Nikki and Chris went out to BJ's Brew House, where he spent $61.61. The very next day, after this outing, Chris left for North Carolina, and that was July 31st. Now, the day after he arrived in North Carolina is the day that Shanann got extremely sick from a pill that Chris says he gave her for a migraine. This kind of brought us into, where did the oxy come from? I mean, you tell me.
Which unfortunately he says he will take to his grave, but the speculation is that he possibly got it from his sister. Again, we don't know, because he got it from somewhere. And there was evidence, I can't remember where it was at, that Nichol was calling pharmacies about oxy. So I don't know the validity of that rumor. I can't remember exactly where I heard it, but that's definitely very suspicious.
Speaking with someone who has connections, they go out to eat. Do they meet somebody? I don't know. Again, speculation.
I'd like to look at those video surveillance, but they're probably gone because it's been 8 years.
You tell me. So again, more of that in part 4, episode 1. On August 4th, 2018, Nikki calls her dad, and they speak for 26 minutes, and then Gino for 2 minutes, then Jim for 5 minutes, then her dad. This is all while Chris is in North Carolina with his family, working on his marriage, as
while she's sending him pictures of her risque and nude, fully nude. I've seen
Nikki told him to
And
do.
no, I'm not showing you.
Right?
That's gross.
Nikki spent August 4th in Denver, and then she stopped in Aurora, Colorado for a bit before going back to her home in North Glen. Some other things Nikki did that day, August 4th, included searching for wedding dresses for 2 hours and Googling Shanann's Facebook account. Later in the evening at...
But no, the DA says she's clear. She's good. My red flag says otherwise, sir. So does a whole bunch of other YouTubers, Facebookers, TikTokers, Instagrammers, Facebook goers.
At 8:49 p.m., Chris called Nikki and they spoke for 42 minutes. Again, way to help him fix his marriage. August 17th, 2018 is the day that Nikki had her phone interview with Detective Kobach. You know, the one where she texted him prior saying that she remembered more stuff.
When the remembered stuff was absolutely nothing.
She talked about the sheets smelling, that phone call. And that was in the morning at 10:53 a.m. At 4:06 p.m., Nikki calls...
Who's that? Brittany Grasmick.
Her BFF Brittany, and they talk for 80 minutes. Yes, 80. 80.
That's a long time.
I wonder what that call was all about. Don't worry, we're going to get into it. 5:39 p.m., Nikki's mom calls her and they spoke for 3 minutes. And shortly after that, at 6:02 p.m., Nikki called
Brittany Grasmick.
He called Gino and they speak for 14 minutes. And after that call, she makes nor receives any more communication. Now, the only thing that I found interesting about no communication is that it's a Friday. It's a Friday night. But we all know Nikki.
It's a Friday night. She was always texting. She was always Facebooking or whatever. So that's a little suspicious on a Friday night.
Was going through it during this time because, you know, it was all about her and her life being turned upside down and not being able to go out in public. Anyway, August 22nd, 2018, the first call Nikki makes is to another guy that we talked about in part 4, episode 2, a Mr. William Biscay. You can check that video out for more on him if you
That was interesting when she wrote that.
Haven't seen it yet. Now this call is made at 9:36 a.m. and Nikki leaves him a voicemail. Then at 10 a.m., Gino calls Nikki and they talk for 13 minutes. 10:35 a.m., Detective Kobach calls Nikki and they spoke for 7 unrecorded minutes. The next calls are with her dad, Detective Kobach again, for another 10 unrecorded minutes. Brittany, her sister Stephanie, Detective Kobach again, William Biscay again, and someone else. I'm trying to figure out if they're important or not still. And then her dad.
And this woman knows how to dig.
That's it. This was the day after Chris Watts was formally charged. Nikki spoke with Detective Kobach 3 times that day, the 21st. And the day before, she went in to turn over her phone, which is the 23rd. So she speaks with Detective Kobach 3 times on the 21st, which is the same day that Chris Watts is formally charged.
I don't think she actually even turned it in. I don't think she turned it in.
Charged. Then on the 22nd, she talks to Gino. And then the next day, the 23rd, is when she goes in to turn over her phone. On August 26, 2018, there are only 5 calls on Nikki's phone for that whole entire day. And again, they are from, in order, dad, sister, sister again, Gino, dad. That's it. Those are the only people that she talked to on August 26, 2018. August 28, 2018, Gino calls Nikki at 8:21 p.m. Right after that call ends, Nikki calls her dad and then her sister twice. Okay, so that's what I mean by placement of the communication. It seems to always be during high-stress times and sandwiched between important people, showing, in my opinion, that there's a relationship, like a longtime friend who you would call for advice. Again, that's just my opinion, but my gut has been screaming at me about this connection, and now it would appear my instincts were correct. Now, there was someone who brought all of this to my attention. And
drum roll, please.
At first, I thought it was a long shot, at best. but something told me to look into what I had been told as basically a tip from someone that I didn't know. And it was about things that sounded a bit absurd to me at the time, just like all of what I'm
Wonder if it's the same person that has wrote me.
telling you now probably sounds a bit absurd to some of you. So I'm getting this quote unquote intel about Gino, and so I go down the rabbit hole. And my research partner goes down another rabbit hole, and we both pop up around the same place, meaning things are checking out. They're making sense. They're making a lot of sense. So that digging never stopped. Like, I'm always looking into things, and sometimes I'm trying to work on one video and I end up researching for one that I did in the past or whatever. But recently I found a photo, just one, that proves Nikki and Gino knew each other for sure in 2018, at least in my opinion. And when you add in,
Well, we have the visuals, we have the phone. So why not talk to Gino Shvedov? Why is she, like, you can ask questions. Doesn't mean they're going to arrest him. Like, but why is this? Or look at money transfers and see if that's a possibility. Or like, this is the stuff they should be doing.
in all the other coincidences, it doesn't shock me that this photo exists. What's shocking is that it was forgotten. All of Nikki's friends were told by Nikki herself to delete all photos of her
Why?
from their social media. She definitely did her due diligence in deletion. Wow. That was a tongue twister.
Oh, I got some photos I cannot show because the people have mentioned to me that it would put them in risk. So that's I've seen them, but I can't show them, unfortunately.
Wasn't it? Try saying that 3 times fast. She definitely did her due diligence in deletion. All right. But after all this
But the internet never forgets.
time, this photo still existed on the internet, just waiting to be found. You don't even want to know how many photos I have had to go through and look at in order to find this photo, to find any photo that existed out there with Nichol Kessinger and Gino Shvedov in the same frame. Now, moving forward, I'm going to be even more careful with sensitive information. I really wish I knew how to do Patreon so that I could create a Patreon account for this more sensitive stuff. I may start doing members only, but either way, it's still on YouTube. And you know how YouTube works by now. I also never, ever, ever, ever want to be the reason that somebody gets harassed. So
Yeah,
because of that,
not
I'm
allowed.
not going to say exactly where this came from. I mean, you're going to be able to know where it came from, but I'm going to be a little less transparent than I usually am with who else is in the photo. And I'm also going to put another disclaimer right here. Please do not go looking for these people in order to harass
don't.
them or ask them questions or any of that.
That's not why we're doing these videos. We're trying to find the connection of Nichol Kessinger to some hands-on in this case. And if it's by financial records, phone records, visual records, audio records, something, we're trying to find it to say, yeah, she knew, she was there, she did some type of thing, but all of it right now is all speculation. It's all opinionated. We are trying to find the answers, and that's all we're trying to do. So don't show hate towards anybody or harassment or drama or any of that stuff to the Rusiks, the Watts. Just leave them alone. We're just trying to find the answers. There's nothing that's going to happen for you to harass anybody. Harassing is not in the cards. Do not do it.
I mean, I can't stop you, but I am saying it's not right to do those things.
And I agree.
I do not condone it. I
Neither do
don't do it, and I don't ever condone anybody else doing it either. Many of these people are innocent bystanders in all of this, and it's not fair for them to be dragged into it. And because I found all of this information, I feel accountable for what happens with it. I know people are going to share this information, and it's meant to be shared, but not everybody is going to share it in the right way. if that makes sense. Where I got it isn't relevant per se. The only purpose I'm sharing this photo is to prove a connection between the two. And you're going to see exactly why I'm being so weird about this in a minute. 3.
Okay. Okay. So it's a wedding.
2, 1. So here's the photo. As you can
It's on August 17th. No! Yeah, she looks like she's really a victim in this, doesn't she?
see, this appears to be a wedding between Gino and a woman. And if you look over here at the far left of your screen, you will see Nichol Kessinger. Now, I would say this as a question to protect myself, but some people think I'm dumb when I question things that are obvious. So, I mean,
You snippery little... So when she's sitting there saying that she can't sleep, she can't go out in public, her name is going to be... Exhibit A.
that's Nikki. Just like when I did the video of her at Danielle Haydal's mom's funeral, you can tell it's her. I put it all out as a question to protect myself, but so many people thought I was stupid because I didn't mention Danielle Haydal's name, and I didn't straight up say, this is Nichol Kessinger. And the reason I didn't mention Danielle is because it's her mother's funeral, for crying out loud. I wasn't about to be that insensitive.
And again, who cares if she popped up like this? Great. Hey, she's gained a few pounds. Whoop-de-doo.
Just like in this video, I'm not going to name Gino's partner here, but I do know who it is. I'm being respectful.
Leave her alone.
Okay, so this is Nichol Kessinger at Gino's wedding to his first wife. Now, these two tied the knot in the spring of 2018. Again, I'm not mentioning any dates. I'm not mentioning locations. They got married in the spring of 2018, right around the time Nikki would have met Chris. That's about as specific as I'm going to get. Again.
But what I looked at was the date of the wedding. August 17th. 4 days after this tragedy took place, that she so-called, I couldn't sleep. I can't stay up. I mean, when was the 17th for her again? Okay, so the red circle is the murders happened. These pictures were uploaded on the 17th. Yeah, she really shows that she is going through a lot of pain and suffering, but she's yet partying it up at a wedding. Dang, 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 Miss Unapologetically Me. You definitely know your business.
Feel free, do your own research, form your own opinion. But this photo was posted to the internet in a group of photos on August 17th, 2018. Now, if you recall, I just gave you the dates that Gino and Nikki had communication, and August 17th was one of those dates mentioned. I have to wonder, did Nikki call Gino to tell his wife to edit out all the wedding photos with her in them, but this one was missed? Now, this appears to be a very close, intimate wedding. It's not one of those weddings with 250 plus people where everybody's invited that you ever said hello to in your whole life. No, this wedding appeared to be close friends and family only, which, in my opinion, is the best way to have a wedding. But these types of weddings are not casual invites, especially a first marriage. Being present suggests social familiarity, trust, and some level of inner circle access, in my opinion. So now, I'm going to ask you a question. If you were getting married and you wanted to have a smaller, more intimate feeling wedding, who would you invite?
Close.
Now, we know that Nichol Kessinger had broken up with her boyfriend about 6 months before she says she met Chris. So Nikki would have been single at the time she attended this wedding. So I don't see her as being somebody's plus one. I mean, she could.
Was Chris the plus one? I mean, I don't know.
Could have been, but it's probably more likely that she herself was invited. And why would she be invited to somebody's wedding? probably because she knew one of the two people getting married, close enough to be considered for a smaller, more intimate wedding. Like I said, I know who his first wife was, and I can tell you one thing. I can't find any links between Nikki and this woman, other than this photo, of course. No phone numbers match her or anyone else she knows, other than the man she married, who is Gino Shvedov. So, that's what leads me to believe she was invited by Gino or one of his family members. Now, this photo doesn't tell us why they knew each other or how they knew each other, but it does remove the question of whether they did.
But it also shows that she's not a victim. Victims don't go out in public. They stay at home. Or they try to cry their sorrows away because of what they've been through. That don't look like she's doing that.
Did know each other. And I'm not sure if I mentioned this before, but it's also possible that Nikki's mom and Gino's mom knew each other. They could have been friends. So Gino and Nikki could have been friends by default. You know, kids growing up together and their moms know each other. It's just speculation. But either way, I think it's pretty clear and would be accurate to say that from this point on, we can now be sure that Nikki and Gino knew each other. I still believe they've known each other since at least middle school, if not sooner. But we know now that they knew each other in spring of 2018. Nikki also filed her business, Satya, in spring of 2018, which I believe is another connection to Gino, but that's just another instinct that we might get into later on. I mean, we're probably going to get into it. I don't know who I'm kidding here, but I don't know when, so don't push me, okay? We also know that she met Chris when she started working at Anadarko, which was also in the spring of 2018. What came first, the chicken or the egg? I don't know. All I have is my opinion on the information that's in front of my face. So what does this prove or not prove? Well, what I can say, it does prove that they knew each other. They had social proximity. And this wasn't a random or internet-based connection.
But if you've gone through this whole ordeal with a man that blanked his family, would you go to a wedding?
This photo does not prove is any criminal involvement,
does not.
Knowledge of the murders, or...
But it shows that she lied about being a victim and couldn't sleep and couldn't eat and couldn't enjoy herself because she was just so sad and looking for or trying to help and
motive or intent. Okay, so I'm not saying because they knew each other this man had anything to do with anything. I'm saying that they knew each other, and that's it.
So far.
That's all I'm saying. I was trying to find proof of them actually knowing each other, and I found it, and so therefore I wanted to share it. One thing I have learned in my few years of just doing deep dives is that when you map people, instead of blaming them, the truth usually ends up speaking for itself at some point. Now, while I have you here, I might as well ask you this question too.
Yes.
Does this photo look familiar to you? Because it did to us. It bore a striking resemblance to this fan favorite photo of Nichol Kessinger. And this photo is the wedding announcement for Gino and his second and current wife. I just found the setting to be familiar. And I should have probably started with that and led into this, but it is what it is. Now, if Nichol Kessinger attended Gino's wedding, what other relationships were minimized or not disclosed? What else becomes relevant once we stop assuming that Nichol Kessinger existed in a vacuum? Nikki had a life before meeting Chris. Nikki has connections. She lived in Colorado her entire life in the same area. Nichol Kessinger is so much more than just Chris Watts' mistress. We know it, and law enforcement knew it too, in my opinion. Thank you guys so much for listening. That's it for today's video. It was just supposed to be a quick one today, but now I'm going back into the phone records and getting back to part 4. So the next video will be part 4, episode 3. Again, we're going back.
But what about the Britney girl? I want to find out about the Britney girl.
Into those phone records, and we're going to look at some other numbers that are a little suspicious. Okay. I'm going to be a lot more careful from now on. We're going to have a lot more redactions for things, but again, everything I get is public record. I don't know anyone in the family. I don't, I'm not like going on the dark web and trying to find things.
I'm scared of the dark web. I ain't touching that.
I don't even know how to do stuff like that. So I'm doing all of this the old-fashioned way, using the same stuff Law and Crime Network uses. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please leave a like if you did. Thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed.
Give her some love, guys.
Thank you so much to my members. I appreciate all of you so very, very much. Please leave a comment. Just keep it respectful.
Yes.
You guys know the rules by now, and I will talk to you again on the next one.
Oh, maybe if I took these things off. Sorry, I kept them on there.
Please have a great rest of your week or weekend. Please be safe, be happy, be healthy, and most of all, be unapologetically you.
And this girl knows that. Hey, that's me. Alright, guys. Well, Miss Unapologetically Me True Crime has done her diligence to find the connection between Nichol and Gino, but there is no criminal damaging evidence that would say anything. The only thing that I could say comes from this is you don't see Nichol being sad. I can tell you right now, if I was in this predicament, I can tell you right now, when I lost my buddy back in 2012, he had accidentally blanked himself. He didn't realize that there was one in the chamber. He was drinking. And I was with him when he died. It's been 13 years now. I'm just going to say his first name, Logan. Next door neighbor. When it happened, I shut down. I mean, it was really close to me because, it was a buddy. But when that happened, when death happens, your mind kind of goes in a whole different funk. You try to go through all these possibilities. What could you have done differently? What could have you changed? And you kind of lose all sense of surroundings. I don't see that with this woman as a victim. Nichol Kessinger was not a victim in this. She knew very well everything that was going on. She was only scared and she couldn't sleep or she couldn't eat because she didn't want to lose her freedom. But she weaseled herself into a marriage. It went south, was destroyed, and not even a week later, she's going to a wedding. Wow. That's all I have to say. Definitely leave your thoughts down below. Again, give your praise to Miss Unapologetically Me True Crime for finding the connection. Again, it's not anything that's going to criminate her, but it shows that she has no remorse. She did not care for the family of Shanann, Bella, Celeste, and Nico. She cared about herself, even when she said Shanann and she did this with her hands. She did not care what happened as long as she was happy. She was getting what she wanted, which was booty and butt stuff from Chris, because she said it was the best blank she's ever had. She tells all her friends and family to delete every photo evidence. Well, guess what? There are people that are spreading your images. And you don't even know it. If it's on the internet, it eventually comes to light. You can't get rid of everything on the internet. Unfortunately, you can't. And a lot of people have found that out the hard way, because you got to make sure what you send over the phone or over the computer is usually censored, because somebody else is going to be able to get it and they're going to exploit you. People try to exploit me every day saying I'm doing this or this and this. Sure, whatever. You think what you want. I have nothing to hide. It's like, well, you're coming after me or coming after all these different YouTubers because they're stating their opinions, their commentary, their 2 cents, and some people don't like it, and that's it. My goodness. Sorry, my cough is terrible now. Again, I thank you all for being here, for watching my video, my reaction, my commentary, and my additional 2 cents on her video. But again, she did the work. She found all this evidence. I want to make that very clear. And she and I have a collab hopefully coming this Saturday. Just keep on the notifications on both channels. So when we do find out the actual times, we will definitely be posting to show the collab and figure out exactly how it's going to go down. So look forward to that. Again, I thank you guys all for being here. Please take care, be safe. As always, keep nerding on, and we will see you guys in that next video.